Do you have an example of a time where you weren't given clear expectations and that led you to fail or do something wrong?
I mean, I've made a lot of mistakes.
Do you think that came from not having clear expectations of what you were supposed to do, or just because of
Probably
you just
because
messed
of
up?
my ego or just me wanting to do things my way. Sometimes I think I've failed a few times where I probably had the expectations set because again I was blessed with good leaders that did set the expectations. Mine was probably where I just got too busy and I wanted to do things my way, and they weren't always there at my site. They were at other sites or other locations, but I would just not take my time, not think about things, just go fast because I was too busy with 15 other things, and I would make a mistake and I would fail. And so, yeah, I've had opportunities or I've had situations where I've had made some big mistakes, but
Not really because of clear expectations.
not as bad, not as much for the expectations, but more
That is
for,
because you usually had like expectations
Right.
that were given to you.
I was trying to think of a time where expectations were set and I just missed it.
Or that you didn't have any, like you just had free reign to do whatever you wanted, and you didn't do.
I mean, there's probably been times where I just made I went and did I had too many things going at one time, too many things on my plate, and I just whizzed through things and didn't
well.
focus. But
Do you have any-
they've always had expectations for me. I mean, my expectations were always set. Our company's always done a good job of setting goals and objectives and expectations at the beginning of each year, and then following up. And we have a system that we call GPS that allows us. It kind of forces us to do that and set expectations. But if it's easy. You can get busy and not follow through. And there's been times where I have failed and messed up and made mistakes.
Yeah.
Luckily, the leaders I had allowed me, to correct those things, and I learned from them.
Yeah.
As far as I'm trying to think of a specific example. Just recently, I had a situation where I didn't follow through and listen to some expectations were set on some meeting dates that were supposed to happen, and I didn't follow through. I didn't look, and I didn't.
So you had clear expectations, but you
The expectations were set.
disregarded them.
I got busy, and I didn't follow through, and I didn't look back at certain things, and they didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then I failed because I didn't follow through.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't say chastised, but I got counseled, that I need to make sure and follow through. I mean, it happens to people. It doesn't matter where you are in your career. I've been in this business for over 25 years, and so you still make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. It's just the good leaders are the ones that help people work through those mistakes, even when clear expectations are set. Now, I know people that have not set clear expectations.
What's an example of that? Where like either one of your colleagues that is a leader has a leader position and didn't set clear expectations for their employees, and they failed because of that. Do you have any examples of that?
Oh yeah, there's several leaders. I mean, I've had several over the years where they weren't good at setting expectations. They just threw their employees out there to the wolves and said, "Y'all, you have to figure out." It depends sometimes on that person how well they're going to succeed. Because if their leader's not strong and setting clear expectations, they're going to struggle. But if they're good at figuring things out on their own, they might make it. But
so you think it's more about like knowing your employee, and if they show the qualities of being able to get things done without expectations and they do better in that area, then do that. But if this employee struggles and they need more direction, then you need to know that and give them direction.
Right. So, I mean, a good leader is going to set clear expectations, and when they fail to give clear expectations or goals to their employees, they tend to struggle. The managers, that's the senior leaders, and even some of the highest level managers still don't set good expectations.
And that leads to
and
failure.
it leads to failure for a lot of people, or frustration, or people, or employees that have, they'll have low morale, or they're disgruntled for whatever reasons.
Yeah.
So the best leaders I've ever seen in an organization are good at setting those expectations, and they drive it down to all their managers, which drive it down to their leaders. And so I'm in a position that I help. I'm an HR business partner. I help those senior leaders coach their middle managers and their lower level supervisors on how to do that properly.